You're listening to Literally First Class, the podcast for female founders behind multi-million-dollar brands and businesses. I'm your host, Keri Ford, creative director turned 3-time award-winning coach, real estate investor, mom, and the one-on-one private advisor for multi-7- and 8-figure firms. If you're ready to make your next million, expand your impact, and lead with even more confidence, you're in the right place. Let's take your life and business first class. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about a few different things as it relates to regulating your nervous system, elevating your income, and knowing the difference between excitement and anxiety because you want to do all the things and achieve it all like yesterday. This specific question comes from Evie Dawson. So there's definitely several parts to this question. The first one I want to tackle is what it means to even be regulated. When you are regulated in your nervous system, one myth I want to put to bed is that this means that you are calm, cool, and collected all the time. What this actually means to be regulated in your nervous system is that despite activation or despite feeling somewhat triggered or that there is some sort of stress response happening inside your body, you are still able to be alert, curious, and connected. That means that you are in what's called the window of tolerance. And those of you that have done trainings with me in the past or heard me speak about the window of tolerance, I liken this to a cup. And a cup can only hold so much water. And then at the top, when it fills up, then it starts to overflow. The nervous system window of tolerance is the same. So anything within your specific cup size, and cup sizes definitely, size matters. It definitely varies nervous system to nervous system. And that's why it's not a one-size-fits-all answer to some questions like these, because some people have a nervous system window of tolerance the size of a shot glass, let's say, while others might have a friend's size mug. So it depends on your level of capacity and ability to metabolize these feelings and sensations. So that being said, everyone has their cup. The window of tolerance is a certain size, and at the top, if it fills up with too much activation, too many triggers, too much can overflow. So when you are regulated, you can actually still have liquid in that cup, right? You can still have a trigger. You can still be angry. You can still be upset or sad. You can still be triggered, but you are also able to stay connected and stay calm and curious. It doesn't mean that you are accessing fully peace all the time, that you need more healing. It means you have a nervous system. It means you're having a human experience because you have a nervous system. And so to be regulated does not necessarily, again, mean that you are unaffected by things. So I just want to put that myth to bed because I see that floating around a lot, which is like, I want to regulate my nervous system, but it's unrealistic to think that we can always be peaceful and not triggered. That's not realistic. That's not going to happen ever. And so what happens is that as we heal, we upgrade the size of our cup. And this is the work we do inside my containers. We're actively working to increase capacity to handle things that don't go our way, that trigger us, so that our response and our reaction in our nervous system is what changes. That's how we measure growth in the nervous system, and we measure healing in that way. So what I hear in this question is actually a capacity and the ability to hold things. Because whether you're at $20K a month or $100K a month, it doesn't really matter. Money is just neutral. The sooner you can realize that money is just neutral in the system, the more you realize that it's nothing and everything all at once. Okay, let me unpack what I mean by that. It is nothing because who you are, right, and how you feel about yourself actually won't change. You might have a little more confidence of like proof of concept or, a better quality of life, but who you are is not actually going to change. In fact, it's proven that you're not actually happier beyond a certain income level. Okay, you just have more stuff or more money in the bank, right, or more assets. So you're not actually going to change. So knowing that you're not going to feel any different, whether you're at 20K, 50K, 100K, 500K a month,
that might change things for you. The other thing is if money is neutral, then there should not be anxiety or excitement around it. Do I love money? Yes, I do. But there also comes a time where you start making a lot of money, or you have those higher cash injections or success after success, and you don't really feel the high that you once did. Like last week, we had a 6K day amidst a terrible personal tragedy where one of our homes was burned down by Airbnb guests in California. And that was so sad. And yet I was still able to have a 6K plus cash day, despite a personal tragedy and making a few posts and sending out a few emails. So I think we sent out like 5 or 6 emails. And I did a series of like 3 to 5 posts, and we had a 6K day. So, and I didn't really it was like, yay. And also I don't really feel anything, right? Because that's happened so many times. It's normal and neutral in my system. So that brings me to the next point, which is, how can we regulate our nervous system amidst the busyness and excitement? So let's take a look at the word excitement, because I know for me personally, I often confused excitement and anxiety, and I would conflate them, mixing them up for the same thing. So I would often think I was excited, but I was actually anxious, and thus an upper limit can be revealed, right? An upper limit being something that feels like that inner thermostat of, oh gosh, this is happening and maybe it's too good to be true, or it's somewhere out there, or it's like the next level, right? But we have this upper limit to what feels safe to have, hold, and keep, right? To receive. And so I don't know, based on this question exactly, because I haven't processed you, I don't know your nervous system, but I might invite taking a look at the difference between excitement and anxiety and seeing if you know a difference between those two things in your nervous system.
This message sponsored by Po Hung Yu. Have you ever thought about microdosing before? Maybe you've even seen documentaries like Fantastic Fungi or How to Change Your Mind on Netflix. By the way, I have a funny story about the Fantastic Fungi, but you're going to have to ask me offline. Or maybe you've heard about the extensive research happening in the best universities and the evidence showing how mushrooms are game-changing for those with anxiety, depression, ADHD, and even PTSD. So many female leaders and moms have jumped on the microdosing bandwagon to help them better manage modern-day stress. I want to introduce you to our new brand partner, Po Hung Yu. She's a self-mastery mentor, microdosing guide, and a former acupuncturist. And as a successful woman like me, like you, imagine a life where your brain and your nervous system can just relax. That's exactly what happens when you microdose and you're guided by an experienced facilitator. So you can actually be present and enjoy your life minus the anxiety, overwhelm, and stress. The best part is you don't feel high, there's no psychedelic effect, and no one will know. You can still work, be with your kids, drive, exercise, and live your normal day-to-day life. But you'll still receive all of the amazing benefits of mushrooms, like increasing neuroplasticity, flow, creativity, focus, and even your connection and intimacy with your loved ones. Not only will you receive a 15-minute consult where Po will tell you exactly how this process works so you can decide if it's a fit for you, but you'll also get a bonus of $500 off and a complimentary root cause assessment call worth over $800 when you decide to work with Po. Click the link below in the show notes to get started today.
The part about busyness is, as we scale, it can mean a number of things. It could just mean our impact is scaling. So we have the number of people that we're serving. That is scaling, and it may require more team members in order to handle the fulfillment and not sabotage that, right? So if we find that we have more clients coming into our ecosystem, yes, we're going to be busier if we don't have the team support to help hold that and to fulfill in a way that we really want to. So we might be busier, we might have less time, right? But if we're just scaling our income, and it's not necessarily based on a huge volume of clients, because this depends on price point, right? Then it might just be, what are we so busy doing? So it could be two different things here. I want to just be very clear in how I'm answering this question, because it could be busyness from a volume standpoint, which I would say you might need to delegate and get some additional team support, whether it be a co-coach or somebody to help with admin. I don't know exactly what this business model looks like. Or if you're elevating your income, but it's not necessarily like hundreds and thousands of new clients, it's just a few clients at a higher ticket price point, where is the busyness coming from? I know for me personally, as a creator on the Wealth Dynamics, which is a test that I have all my clients take inside of our Apex Academy, along with the Enneagram, I'm a creator on the Wealth Dynamics. This is important information because it tells me where the edge of me is and where I tend to go as my default. So my zone of genius is definitely ideation and coming up with ideas and hashtag all the things, right? So I hear that when you say you want to do like 10,000 things and achieve it all like yesterday. But I also know that this is a way that my sabotage is a little sneaky, because when something is working really well, instead of doubling down on it, the creator in me wants to create new things, which then takes energy away from the things that are already working really well. And I did an episode on this not too long ago. If I can find it, I'll put it in the show notes. I have to remember exactly where it was. But talking about sabotage being a way that I see so many women who are highly creative, extremely amazing visionaries, really sabotage great results right now, because they didn't fully flush out the thing that was already working. They clipped their momentum, and then they got shiny object syndrome and went over here away from the thing that was already working. So what are you so busy creating, I would ask? I don't think that it necessarily requires more things. I think it requires deeper fulfillment of what you already have. My belief is that God doesn't give us more if we aren't stewarding what we already have well. Then we have a receptivity issue, right? We are out of time. We literally don't have the capacity because we're so busy doing all the things. We're taking energy away from clients that actually need better service. Maybe the things that we already have in place need to be elevated, refined, improved. Maybe we need to be surveying our current clients to see their level of happiness. Like most of our business, if it's a more intimate business model, and it could be true for larger ones too, can and should come from the clients that are already in our ecosystem. I used to have this belief that, the measure of success was whether or not a client graduated and left our ecosystem. I don't think that actually measures their level of success anymore, or like my ability to provide them results. Because if I'm always growing and I'm always investing and I'm always evolving, why can't I always be the coach that they forever come along with? And actually that's proven to be true with clients that I've had for 10 plus years. And they come and they go. Maybe they don't stay with me, steadily throughout that entire 10 plus years, but they come and they go, right? They plug into a new offer. They stay connected to what I've got going on. They might come to a retreat. Then they take some space that they come back and they do some one-on-one with me. Then they, join the academy, whatever. So I think that you can actually benefit from taking a look at the current ecosystem that you have in place, the current clients you're serving, and say, how can I do this better before I create something new? Why do you need to create something new? And again, this is from the place of I don't know your business model. So I think a few things are definitely, available for you to look at. But what I'll say about this, and as you come into more money and you hit those upper limits and you go beyond them, the two things that you always want to do is you want to neutralize and you want to normalize those results, because otherwise you subconsciously self-sabotage because it feels too good to be true, or you're conflating excitement with anxiety. And I get it, celebrate with excitement the first couple times that happens, but see how you can normalize and neutralize it. I want it to feel that when the time comes that this happens, it feels like fate rather than something that feels over the top, almost too much excitement to hold. Because if you can't hold that, then it won't feel safe to have. It won't feel safe to maintain that and sustain that, which is always where I want to guide my clients before we think about going on to what's next. If you can't hold what you have, what makes you think you can have more? You can't. Not yet. And that's why, you know, when I had very fast success a few years ago, it came crashing down. I myself could not hold it. You know what I did? I started creating new things. I started taking energy away from the very thing that was the cause of this amazing quantum leap. And that was my subconscious sabotage. I didn't know it at the time, but now I know that as a pattern, as a behavior, and I'm like, oh, there's that. So knowing when to double down, knowing when to delegate, those are all going to be huge things to take a look at. But above all, you want to prioritize fulfillment of your clients, see where you can improve, how you can do it better, and serve them, because that's how you build a sustainable business. And that, you know, you can really scale from there too, because those clients bring referrals, they bring renewals. And even if they go away for a little while, they also bring reactivations. So hopefully this answers your question. And I know we get a little bit esoteric in the middle there around like wealth energetics, if you will. But the biggest thing to take away is that you want to neutralize and normalize when you hit those bigger months, and you want to reevaluate when you are at a choice point of creating something new and trying to do #all the things versus, is this taking focus away from things that are already working and potentially that I get to double down on? All right, keep it first class. I'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in to Literally First Class. If today's episode inspired you, hit subscribe and leave a review. It helps us reach even more incredible women like you who are ready to level up, lead with impact, and make first-class moves. I'll see you in the next episode, but until then, keep dreaming big and taking bold action.